New MetaBurn AM, the morning version of the PM MetaBurn. We loved the PM MetaBurn. I thought it was a really unique, interesting concept. And ironically, I kind of considered MetaBurn AM to be more normal, I guess, because most fat burner stuff is going to include a morning aspect, maybe a coffee replacement type thought process. And that's a lot of what we see here with MetaBurn. Quality fat burning ingredients, things that are going to help out with your metabolism, but also a couple added in nootropic type ideas, things that are going to help get your day moving and give you some focus. And of course, AM clearly denotes there's going to be a stimulant factor to this because it's going to be something that you can't take in the PM. So let's talk about MetaBurn AM. First ingredient in here that's going to be probably the most important and exciting one for most people looking for a product like this is going to be MitoBurn BAIBA from NNB. BAIBA is a signal that is created in your body from L-valine. Tells your body we just worked out. So that does a couple different things. It leads to a couple different endpoints that have to do with what your body does after hard training. The research about L-BAIBA says specifically the following claims. It can increase the rate of fat burning. It can upregulate ketone production, turn white adipose tissue into brown adipose tissue, improve insulin sensitivity while lowering blood sugar levels, reducing systemic inflammation, improving blood cholesterol and triglycerides, improving bone density, improving kidney function. And there's still more data coming on MitoBurn as well because it's a rather new ingredient. D-BAIBA used to be the only thing that was commercially available, which is not bioavailable. L-BAIBA, MitoBurn from NB, which is patented, is the new version of that, which is going to be more bioavailable. It's more relevant to your body's own pathways. We've got a lot of really deep dives on L-BAIBA, MitoBurn, so I don't want to go too far into it here. If you're interested in more in this ingredient, which it is a very interesting ingredient in my opinion, because of the fact that it literally is a signal that your body creates on its own, that we're kind of leveraging from an exogenous source here, I'd recommend checking out any of the podcast videos or blogs we have on it. On our YouTube, you can find podcasts and videos specifically on that, both from Mike and myself, as well as researchers behind the scenes like Sean Wells. Or if you want to read about it, our blog goes in depth and has all the necessary citations for you to track down all of the data that we reference on these videos. From there, we get into Celastrus Paniculatus. Now, there are some insulin sensitivity portions to this ingredient, but that's not what I think they put it in here for. I believe they inserted this into the formula because of its nootropic qualities. With a lot of these AM fat-burning pre-workouts products, we look at the claims for kind of being a coffee replacement. A lot of people drink some sort of caffeine in the morning to wake themselves up and inspire some motivation, some focus. And if we use something like this, we can inspire focus, but without maybe the other downsides to caffeine. That being said, we do have caffeine in here as well, just kind of some different versions of an ingredient array that would increase focus. Now, why would you want something nootropic-y in a fat burner? Well, like I said, coffee replacement is one reason, but also if you're in a caloric deficit, which is required for you to lose weight, and this has a lot to do with metabolism here, you're probably going to be in that kind of diet fog. You know, your brain starts to seem to work a little bit less. So something like nootropic can help you get through your day a little bit easier. How it works is that it upregulates acetylcholine. This is the learning neurotransmitter. We create that from choline. Choline bitartrate, alpha GPC might be some things you've heard of. They create acetylcholine within the body, and this can upregulate that neurotransmitter. Now, there's some animal studies improving memory performance, dopaminergic neurotransmission, protecting neurons from damage. One study on Celastrus actually found that it increases neurogenesis. That's going to be the growth and differentiation between neurons, and that is a very big claim. That's probably the biggest one that we would have here in terms of nootropic qualities for the ingredient. And it is a coveted claim for all nootropic ingredients. But all of that to kind of really support caffeine. Caffeine is going to be one of the main reasons this product picks you up, although there is one later that can be pretty strong. We've got 175 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous. Now, that is part of 212.5 milligrams of total caffeine coming from two different sources. Kind of funny, 212 is the boiling point of water. Might be a fun little thing for your fat loss thought process. Caffeine anhydrous, very simple. It's the caffeine that's in pretty much all of your energy drinks. If you drink energy drink, you know what this is going to do for you. We talk about caffeine from a fat loss perspective. It increases C-AMP, which helps convert fat into calories to use. It's seen as kind of the light switch that turns on for fat loss. I don't want to get too far into it here. That's kind of actually a really simple way of putting it. There's a lot more nuance to it. That being said, there's some studies that show that caffeine can increase fat burning by like up to 50%. I don't think this is going to take weight off of you specifically, but I do think that it can add to the myriad of different fat burning ingredients here, and it's definitely going to give you that energy that most people are looking for from a fat burner. From there, we talk about InnoSlim. InnoSlim is an awesome patent ingredient from New Live Sciences. InnoSlim is actually going to downregulate a transporter called sodium glucose cotransporter 1, SGLT1 is what it's commonly referred to as. This actually downregulates the amount of glucose that can transfer its way through the walls of your intestines. By decreasing this, we're actually going to lower the amount of glucose that our body absorbs from food by as much as 41%. This actually isn't my favorite part of InnoSlim. A lot of people are excited to hear that you're going to absorb less glucose, less sugar. I'm more of a fan of utilizing your sugar as much as possible. I don't normally talk about this part as much because I just don't think it's the strength of it, but some people will be excited to hear about that. I'm most passionate about this ingredient for is actually going to be an increasing of a separate transporter called glucose transporter 4, GLUT4. Now, this transporter actually moves glucose out of your blood and into muscle cells. And this is a lot more compelling for me. As an athlete and as a proponent for resistance training as part of a dieting regimen, I think that resistance training is going to be a lot more effective for fat loss and body composition improvements than just, say, lowering your calories or doing cardio. And within that strain of things, I think that shuttling the glucose that you do consume into your muscle cells is going to be the best usage for it. You want to use that sugar not only for your brain, but also to train harder. And that's going to, I think, have really big impacts on your body composition if you can use your nutrition more efficiently. Lastly, technically, you do get a metabolism boost from InnoSlim. With a lot of these fat burner things, we'll sometimes bring up metabolism boosts. It's not the kind of thing that I want people to be reliant on. You should not be thinking, oh, well, I ate this many calories, I expended this many calories, but I took that supplement so I can increase that expenditure by X percentage. It's not how I want you to think, but for better understanding of the ingredient, I do like to note these things. Now, from there, we get our second ingredient that is going to include caffeine, Infinergy, Dicaffeine Malate. We've got 50 milligrams of it here. This yields about 37.5 milligrams and rounds out that 212.5 total caffeine. This is going to be a longer acting caffeine, so less of a crash at the end, longer acting, and it's going to have a nice trail off. After that, we hit Advantra Z, which is a bitter orange extract, which is standardized for Synephrine, 40 milligrams here. I love that they went with bitter orange here for a couple different reasons. One, it's a compliant version of Synephrine. Far too often we see brands using Synephrine HCl, which is not compliant. You can't trust that. It's just a synthetic Synephrine. That being said, when you get it from bitter orange, you get a couple different things that it's not standardized for, but it is an extract coming from an herb, and there's some other cool things commonly found in bitter orange in nature that you may or may not get an effect from, but we like to consider that there will be an entourage of effects because you're going to feel that full spectrum from that extract. Now, Synephrine can boost metabolism by as much as 183 calories per day, but again, I don't want you to be thinking about numbers with this stuff. Synephrine for me is an awesome stimulant. It improves performance in the gym. I feel great on it, and it also has an ergogenic effect because it's a beta agonist. That's kind of similar to what we used to see with ephedrine, which you can't get legally on the market for dietary supplements anymore, but it's going to be a very similar experience. For me, this is an awesome way to start your day. It has almost no effect on heart rate or blood pressure, but it does increase awareness, and it just excites me in the morning. I love taking Synephrine in the morning, and I think it's a very compelling ingredient for a product like MetaBurn AM. Now, last in the Meta Boost complex here, we have Rauwolfia Vomitoria. We got 1.5 milligrams here of alpha Yohimbine. Now, alpha Yohimbine is a stronger, what I consider to be version of Yohimbine. It's going to be a little bit more potent per milligram, in my opinion, and it's also, again, an extract. So there's a kind of an entourage effect. It feels more robust than just like a Yohimbine HCl. Some people are sensitive to alpha Yohimbine, and since the full serving size of this is 2 capsules, if you're new to alpha Yohimbine, I would recommend using just 1 capsule. It's going to be easier to manage, and you're going to get a better idea of how you feel on it, and then you can move up to 2 capsules. For me, it gives me an awesome tunnel vision for training. It really fires me up for the day and gets me moving, but it doesn't give me too much paranoia, sweating, or anything that would be uncomfortable. They left GBB out of this formula, and I'm actually a big fan of that as a professional that, may have to travel or go to events or go do something in public. I want to be able to take a fat burner in the morning and enjoy those effects if I want to go do cardio with it, but I want to be able to get back into my day afterwards, and if I have to take 3 showers in a day to get rid of the GBB sweats, it's not very convenient. Though it is probably very effective for making sure that I end up at my goal for fat loss, it's definitely not convenient. At the end here, we have a True Absorb Matrix, and this is basically just going to be a combination of 2 absorption ingredients. One is going to be Astragin from New Live, same company that makes that InnoSlim ingredient. This is an awesome gut health ingredient. It lowers intestinal wall inflammation by up to 74% and also increases the absorption of a lot of ingredients across the market. They've got data on all sorts of things from choline to amino acids to even CBD. Now, Bioperine in there is another ingredient absorption enhancer. This is coming from black pepper. This ingredient does not have as many studies on it. It's most commonly touted for increasing curcumin absorption, but we don't have curcumin in here. But what I would say is that the black pepper extract itself actually has some other benefits that kind of align with this formula, which is pretty cool because oftentimes I don't get to say that about black pepper extract. A lot of times I end up telling people, well, this doesn't really work with the ingredients in here because there's not much data on it. That being said, piperine in here, which is what it's extracted for, actually also upregulates GLUT4, which is that transporter that helps move glucose into muscle cells. So it works alongside InnoSlim actually quite well. All that being said, I'm a big fan of MetaBurn. I was also a big fan of the PM before, so it's cool to see them building out this stack, but even if it was just this product, I'd be excited about it on its own. This is the kind of product that I see myself using every single day. I'm not currently in a cutting phase, but I will be entering one rather soon, and I'm really excited to use this regularly, like every single day. I also enjoy more hardcore fat burners that include things like GBB, maybe some niacin, which this does have 15 milligrams of, but it's not enough that would make me flush. But sometimes I do enjoy something heavier. But what I would always want, no matter what, even if I am using one of those frequently, is to have something to come back to on my normal days where I'm not looking to sweat for 4 hours straight. MetaBurn definitely finds that way to my stack there. All that being said, I did get this for free, and we do have a business affiliate relationship with AstroFlav, but I hope that this video was educational, informative, better informs your buying decision. If you do want to grab one, you can use our coupon code PricePlow at checkout and grab a little bit of savings. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.